It's actually funny I bumped into this title, this video here on YouTube because Mary Jane was literally the reason I stopped reading the Amazing Spider-Man comic. I used to read that faithfully, repeatedly, and I can't remember what year that was, but the year where Mary Jane was in a relationship with, what was that dude's name with the glasses? I forgot his name. Don't want to remember him. Every time I saw his face, I got disgusted. But when Mary Jane decided to go with him, after everything Peter went through, Mary Jane left Peter Parker after everything that happened from the previous comic issues. And I was so invested. That was one thing that Peter had going for him, was his relationship with Mary Jane. And the writers was just like, let's just mess that up. And I haven't read it since. And I heard, I didn't watch it, but I saw a little clip that apparently Mary Jane left that dude. Whatever that dude that she left Peter for, that she left the dude. I don't care. You know how long it's been? To be real, I don't even know if they should do this whole thing with Mary Jane and Peter again in that comic. Because it's like, yeah, you can write it back, because I've heard a lot of the fans of the Amazing Spider-Man in general got mad. So that's probably one of the reasons they changed the story. But it's like the damage has been done, and they did that relationship for a while, because it's been a while since I read the comic. I refused. I'm literally that kind of person where if I'm saying something's terrible, I'm not going to keep supporting it, because I ain't going to sit there and complain all day. I'm going to stop, no matter how much I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. Heck, Amazing Spider-Man was one of my favorite comics. I read mostly Batman and DC, but when it came to Marvel, Spider-Man was on the top. The Amazing Spider-Man comic. I know there was some other ones, the Ultimate and other ones. I was more on the Amazing Spider-Man ride, and that one broke my heart. I was like, no. The reasoning didn't matter. I did not care. Mary Jane should have been solid with Peter. It was like, bro, you know what, Peter? Go with Black Cat. And maybe he did, and like I said, I haven't read any issue ever since that situation, so maybe he did go with Black Cat. I don't know. But it's funny, because bumping into this, Marvel's Mary Jane dilemma, I have a feeling they're going to talk about that. Because, no, there's actually no, I was about to say, that's probably the only situation where Mary Jane looked terrible. But no, she looked terrible in as much as I love the movies, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I couldn't stand Mary Jane there. She was, you talk about selfish, everything was about her. It was like this. She has a little moment where she's thinking about somebody else, but everything, it's about me. It's about my career. It's like, bro. But anyway, that's another conversation. But I'm going to see what this is about. I just wanted to share a quick story. Amazing Spider-Man was definitely the comic for me to read, and they just messed it up. And there was some things in the comic that I didn't like before that situation, but I looked past it because it wasn't that serious. That Mary Jane part was definitely serious. It was like, bro, where's the loyalty at? Anyway, let's see what this video is about. Shout out to, where's the Comic Lads? I want to see what their video's about. I already liked it. Let's see this Marvel's Mary Jane dilemma. It's been a long time since I read a Spider-Man comic. I think that was, I didn't read any other comic in this place, because as much I read so many Spider-Man comics that for me, Amazing Spider-Man was that move. So I think, when I stopped reading Amazing Spider-Man, I just stopped in general. So I'm interested in seeing where they go with this. It's been a long time for me.
All the relationships throughout comic culture, there are few as turbulent as Mary Jane and Peter Parker's tumultuous relationship. We've been through the highs, we've been through the bitter lows, and most recently, there's been a huge change with the breakup involving Mary Jane.
Yeah, that was the clip I saw.
See you, chump.
That was the clip. I told you I saw it. I don't know the whole backstory of it, but they showed a little clip of it. And some guy who made the clip was celebrating. He's like, finally, she broke up with him. I don't know. Hold up.
The highs, we've been through the bitter lows, and most recently, there's been a huge change with the breakup involving Mary Jane and Paul Rabin.
Paul, right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together we're the Comic Lads, and today we're asking the question, did Mary Jane and Paul break up too late?
If you're a Marvel fan,
probably,
because I'm still not going to read it in general,
they should have done that way sooner.
Has been pulled in
they should have never done it at all.
Directions with the character in the last decade to a decade and a half.
Yeah, and if you're an Amazing Spider-Man reader, I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Guys, before we get into all of our own thoughts, we do want to hear from you in questionable of the week. Let us know, what do you think about Mary Jane and Peter's current state of their relationship, or lack thereof, actually.
It's actually
Like, it's like, can the writers not mess with that?
anymore.
It's like Peter.
And also, guys, we just
Like, if you notice, like, Peter outside of Batman, right? Yeah, outside of Batman, Peter has it the worst when it comes to that superhero life. It was like the one great thing he had was his Aunt May and Mary Jane. It's like, why are y'all touching that? Leave that alone. I don't care if Mary Jane is repetitive with the just loving her, you know, go get him, Tiger, all that. That's fine. The story is about Spider-Man. Let him have that happy moment. When he goes see his Aunt May, when he goes with Mary Jane, this brother goes to work with Spider-Man. Hey, he goes as Spider-Man, trying not to die. He's broke a lot of the times in the story, depending on which one you read. It's like, dude, why are y'all touching that? I don't know the backstory of the whole Paul thing. Don't care to know. But anyway.
want to ask you to please consider leaving a like on the video. It really helps us out.
Liked it.
And maybe hit the subscribe button.
Why not?
Alright, so before we get into the current breakup, let's just do a little quick recap, because Mary Jane's placement in the Marvel Comics universe has been all over the place.
Yes, for the last like 10 to 15 years, it's been in a constant state of flux. They truly just don't know what to do with her when she's not adjacent to Spider-Man. Like, I remember a few years ago, she like started working for Stark Industries and like became the Iron Spider for a bit, and I'm like, what?
And then recently she was Jackpot with Black Cat, another superhero.
Yes.
With like one of the worst set of abilities I've ever seen.
Yeah, I miss
She
all
has,
this.
like,
Like I said, I haven't read
wrist,
I haven't
and,
read
it gives her
Spider-Man in a
different
minute.
powers depending on what she
I didn't
hits.
know any of
But
that.
it can either be something really bad or really
Like
good.
Mary
So
Jane,
it's a
like,
gambling
it seems like they're
superpower.
doing her like they was doing Harley Quinn for a while. You remember in DC they kept pushing Harley Quinn everywhere instead of keeping her where she's supposed to be. You know, stop. Mary Jane don't need to do all that. It's okay that she's just a love interest. That's fine. You can make a great story around it. You know, you can have a plot with that. It don't have to be, hey, honey, bye, honey, go get him. It could be more to it, but just keep it there, though. Like, my goodness, they be thinking too much.
Don't you get it, bro? It's because she said Jackpot to Pete like 60 years ago.
And then, of course, most recently, she has become the all-new Venom.
Just like
What?
the most egregious idea.
Yeah,
We made a
they
separate
have some
video
fantasies
talking about
with
why
Mary
we're
Jane. I don't
against
know
that
what it
idea,
is.
being how it completely character assassinates Mary Jane's trauma with the Venom symbiote, and also just adding to this like common trend of the symbiote being passed around through so many different hosts.
I don't know about you, but I really don't like this modern idea alluding to some kind of romantic connection between Eddie Brock and the symbiote. It really irks me.
It also makes me think, like, what is he doing behind closed doors when the illustrators aren't bringing him to life? Throughout all these ups and downs with Mary Jane's character, we also get her attachment or detachment to Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
Yes.
It's no surprise Marvel editorial actually has a kink for like destroying Peter's self-esteem.
I have no idea why.
And
It's
most
like, why,
recently,
bro?
she was in a relationship with the infamous supervillain Paul.
No, he actually is like the greatest villain in Marvel history.
I think he's like, he must be top 5 most hated comic
Nah,
characters
he's one.
of all
I
time,
hate
I'd
that
say.
character. I will see
Genuinely,
Peter
I
fight the
think
Green
you're right.
Goblin.
He was such a
Kingpin,
symbol
all them
of everything
all day,
wrong
and then see
with
his
Spider-Man's comics in the last couple decades. Him and Mary Jane were together for how long now? Like a good few years, no?
4 or 5 years now?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Peter's
Felt
just
longer
like,
because it's
he's
been a
getting
minute
cut.
since I read it.
He's getting cut.
It's only
Yeah,
been
and
5
he just has
years.
to see them riding off to the sunset with their 2 weird adopted kids.
Oh
And on top of that, they are also fostering Dylan Brock, who is the son of Eddie Brock Venom.
But I just
Nobody
the
cares about
connection
that
makes
plot. Go
no
back
sense.
to the way it's
so
supposed to
weird.
be.
It's such a like odd shuffling of characters. It's like I don't know what to do with Dylan or MJ. Let's throw them into this weird clusterfuck book with like MJ, Venom, and Paul being like a weird thruple.
And while
What the
that's all
heck
been
is
going
this?
on, Peter has in some way moved on with the fans because he started dating another love interest named Shay. He has
Oh,
a
dang.
whole pretty successful relaunch
Hold
of his
up, hold
comic
up.
line. I'm
Okay,
gonna say.
Peter. He got this brother.
Going
One thing
on.
about Peter Parker, he knows how to pick him. And dude, Mary J. Because outside of her annoyance, she's a looker. Black Cat, come on now, Felicia, are we kidding me? And what was her
Peter
name?
has in some way moved on with the fans because he started dating
Peter. That's one thing the writers do well for him is he got great taste and it works.
Another love interest named Shay. He has a whole pretty successful relaunch of his comic line, I'm going to say.
I would say so, yeah.
That all leads to what is the current state of him and MJ, because with MJ finally breaking up with Paul...
you know, how it is right now, if Shay, I don't know her storyline, maybe she's a good one, maybe she's not, y'all can tell me.
And while that's all been going on, Peter has
if Shay's working for her, why not?
Because he started dating another love interest named Shay. He has a whole pretty successful relaunch of his comic line.
Even if Mary Jane gets back to her senses, it's like, I don't need to go back to you, Peter. Peter shouldn't take that. He should be moving on. I mean, look, Felicia, what's the other girl? Shay, like, come on now. No, I hope the writers ain't like he just falls back. Okay, you did all this to me, but I love you too. No, I'm still not reading it. No.
I'm gonna say.
I would say so, yeah.
That damage is done already. What is the current state of him and MJ? Because with MJ finally breaking up with Paul, fans around the world clapping and cheering.
I think the 616 universe itself was also clapping and cheering because when they break up, there's like a heavenly light coming across the page.
Well, they should have done that much sooner.
I know. They made us miserable just to give us this like stupid breakup. And following her breakup, she does actually appear at Peter's apartment to try to talk to him.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
This exchange is so painfully hilarious. MJ shows up to Pete's apartment as he's getting home from work, and she's like, I want to talk to you about us and
don't
me,
care.
And you've always been my friend, Peter, always. And I just wanted to tell you that I need my friend.
Did she really say friend? Oh my goodness, then she gonna show the
symbiote? I want to talk to you about us and me, and you've always been my friend, Peter, always, and I just wanted to tell you that I need my friend, and then Venom flies out of her back and is like, we need you, Peter.
Oh my
and I'm like,
get out of my face.
So
I hope he closes the door on her.
Shows up at your door and this happens.
And she's Venom.
I'm calling the cops.
100%. Close the door.
MJ is not the character she once was. This is
I like what Mary Jane was, but this,
like break up with this guy that supposedly is your soulmate. You get with his previous arch nemesis being the symbiote, and then you show up at his door and you try to ask for like some kind of rekindling of the relationship.
Rekindling of like a friendship even. And Pete just has this look on his face of like, thank God this person is not in my life anymore. Because he says, the way you're teeing this up, I thought you wanted to get back together. And she's like, Peter? And he's like, you two
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, no simp.
There we go. Close the door. I'm not gonna lie, this shit made me so happy.
Finally, they're reflecting how the fans are feeling about it.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, like, I will always love Peter and MJ together.
Yeah, the old days.
I think like as much as we rag on it, they are one of my favorite couples in comics when done right.
Yeah, just like it can't be in this main timeline.
Yeah, exactly. Like Mary Jane and Peter will always be on the Mount Rushmore comic relationships. It's just they messed it up now in these, I guess you call modern times. I don't know what you want to call it, but I can't deny what they used to be. Like in the older comics, what was before that nonsense when Paul showed up, all that stuff. They have great, like I say, them, Lois and Clark, Selena and Batman. Selena and Batman or Talia? No, Selena and Batman. Who would be a fourth one? Flash and his? No, that's not really memorable. I don't know. You can let me know in the comments. But yeah, they will always be on the Mount Rushmore. It is not changing the fact of how I feel about her right now.
Scuffed for me now. Whatever the case, if they ever get back together, which I hope they don't for a good few years, because maybe that'll give us all the time to heal and want them to be back together.
Maybe.
But even when they do, I'm just going to think about all this baggage that they have.
I know. I genuinely think the only way for us to ever get a good mainline Pete and MJ again is to fucking reboot the timeline and like erase.
You know what? Why not? Start over. Just say whatever this is, whatever issue they're on, this is the final one. We're gonna start from square one. Do that, and don't mess this up. Ain't no cheating. Ain't no breaking up. Let these two let that be good. Out of all the crap Peter goes through, let him have that, writers. Let him have that. Let him have his family and all that stuff. Let that be the one thing that works and never breaks apart. Hopefully they learn from the
sad about the Ultimate Spider-Man run coming to an end.
I know.
Because, like, that gave us the relationship that we've always wanted to see.
Because I love
him and MJ on the same page, despite him being, like, involved with his superhero lifestyle.
Yeah, she was a real one back then, bro.
Kids. They're married.
She held it down.
Everything we've ever wanted, and that's coming to a close.
Wait, what happened?
He's so...
But yeah, Mary Jane was the GOAT back
with
then.
A superhero lifestyle. Yeah. They love and care for each other. They have kids. They're married.
Yep.
Everything we've ever wanted, and that's coming to a close.
Why is that so hard for y'all to do, writers?
Pissed recording this video.
Agreed.
The truth is, I think until we do away with this generation of writers at Marvel, I don't think we can expect anything interesting from the MJ and Pete character.
And if they somehow put them back together so quickly,
too little, too late.
I'm not accepting
all
that.
This happened within the span of a year. Sure, it would be emotionally throwing me all over the place, but I think we wouldn't be so far gone that I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But at this point, just like Peter, I'm kind of just done.
Thank
with
you.
It.
I'm
guys,
so glad he closed that door.
A few of our thoughts on the current situation.
Don't fall for that
Mary
nonsense.
Jane, Peter Parker, the Venom symbiote.
But right now, forget this woman.
What a fucking quadruple.
What a roster.
Then the Venom thing, like, what we doing? What are we doing, writers? What are y'all really doing?
Before we click off the video, we do want to remind you guys that we have our Patreon and YouTube membership.
Shout out to them. I'm glad they broke that down. I didn't know that. I haven't read it in a minute. I thought it was longer than 4 or 5 years. But yeah, I love their relationship. That's why I can never deny how great it was. You know, I used to remember it was one issue in the Amazing Spider-Man where Mary Jane was like, look, we're married. I know you're busy out there. I know this, but we have us. Like, you know, let's not forget that. And it snapped Peter back, and they had a moment. And I never forget because Peter was like thanking God for Mary Jane. I love moments like that. Like, why can't that be a thing? She holds him down. He holds her down. She's understanding of the trials that he goes through. So she makes it as easy as possible. And she still has a life. She was doing her little modeling thing, her other stuff. So she was still doing her. It wasn't like she was just sitting at home just waiting for Spider-Man. No, she had a story. But at the end of the day, those two held it down. Stop messing with stuff that works. You know, I haven't read a Superman one in a while, but a Superman comic, but I hope they haven't done that with him and Lois. I know Batman and Selina, which Batman has always been complicated, and to be real, it's not the lady's fault. For the most part, it's Batman's fault, and as a Batman fan, I just have to own up to it. Sometimes it's the lady's fault, but more is Batman. I wish him and Selina would just work, give Batman something to lean on, you know, on all that trial he'd be going through. But yeah, it's like some things, stop messing with it. Experiment it in a different title. Amazing Spider-Man, in my opinion, was the greatest Spider-Man comic. And you lost a fan in me the moment you did that. I remember I was giving it time. Excuse me. I was giving it time. I was reading a little bit more. I'm like, Mary Jane gonna snap out of this, right? This is a nightmare. Maybe it's a nightmare. It's not real. Mysterio is doing something. Oh, this is real. This is actually happening. Peter loses again. Oh, no. So, yeah. I'm glad, though, that when he closed that door, that put a smile on my face. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. I'll see you later. Who was the fourth spot in the Mount Rushmore relationships? I said Peter and Mary Jane, Lois and Clark, Selina and Bruce, or Batman. I don't know. Let me know.